The pop of the starter pistol shattered the damp air. I felt the tug on the bungee cord. It was time to go. As I ran, I felt hairline cracks in the pavement and the crunch of falling leaves and the smoothness of painted traffic lines. The world seemed silent except for the slap, slap of my laces against the tops of my shoes. The curved metal hook of the bungee cord felt clammy in my hand. My running shoes and a trusted friend were taking me on a journey unlike any I'd ever experienced, because I wasn't just running. I was running blindfolded. 1 in 10 people have a rare disease. That's 30 million Americans. Half of those are children. And that morning on that course, I wasn't running away from rare. I was running toward it. Rare disease had crashed into my life 7 years earlier. That's when my sister, Taylor, was diagnosed with Batten disease, a rare brain disease that affects mostly kids. Batten disease has no known cure. Batten disease is fatal. I'd never really thought about rare disease, but suddenly I did. A lot. No cure? That didn't jive with my preconceived picture of who Taylor would be. My 7-year-old sister wanted to be a rock star and a fashion designer and a vet. She got straight A's in school, and she gave our brother hell. Mom always joked that the youngest of her 3 children was also her easiest, mostly because I got a rocky start. When I was born, I suffered a brain hemorrhage. I had to have brain surgery, and my doctors weren't sure I'd ever walk problem-free, let alone run half marathons or stand on a TED stage. But I healed on my own, and my doctors never knew why. I might have gotten a rocky start, but my sister was always perfect. She was born healthy, smart and spunky, beautiful and brave. She could do anything. But instead of growing up healthy and happy, my sister would lose her eyesight, her ability to walk and talk and swallow food. She'd have seizures. She'd have a short life. After a few months of crying and wringing my hands and asking, why her? I started asking a different question. What if? What if I believed? What if I believed I could save my sister's life? What if I believed she could be the first person to survive Batten disease? What if I believed she could live to achieve all of her dreams? Maybe my belief in the what if could save everything. Now, Taylor always believed. After she went blind, she sang in the school talent show. She went to the school dance with a date. She learned Braille. She even ran 2 5Ks. See, while the adults around my sister worried about her happiness and fretted about the future, Taylor kept a smile on her face. She didn't ask for anything. She didn't complain when her vision faltered or she struggled in math. She didn't cry when she had to give up the long blonde hair she loved to have brain surgery. My sister showed everyone else how to be brave. Taylor's courage inspired a movement, and soon a little charity called Taylor's Tale achieved amazing things too. We funded groundbreaking research. We raised awareness worldwide. We were moving mountains others said would stand forever. And suddenly, Batten disease seemed beatable. But all that progress, it didn't come quickly enough. Fundraising got harder, and Taylor kept getting sicker. Batten disease had been whittling away at everything that made my sister whole since the moment she was born. Now, it'd broken through. My sister didn't stop believing, but somewhere along the way, I did. See, I'd realized I couldn't win the battle for Taylor's life. And on my worst days, I questioned why I kept at a fight that wouldn't even help my own family. Fighting a rare disease is hard. It's small patient numbers and crushing prognoses and shoestring budgets. It's working every day to inspire people to care when rare is code for not me. I wasn't strong enough to face it, and a big part of me wanted to quit, to run away from rare, backward in time to happy days I'd give anything to have back. Then one day, I realized learning to see the world the way Taylor does might be my only way forward. And that's why I ran a half marathon blindfolded. I couldn't see the sky or the trees or the crowd or my guide, but I could see my own life and our path forward more clearly than ever. I trained for 5 months leading up to that race, but I didn't train for once to improve my fitness or my time. Instead, I had to learn to navigate the world without the gift of sight, to see with my ears and my nose and my skin, all while running a 9-minute mile. Now, I know what you're thinking. Running blind is crazy dangerous, and it is. My friend, Andrew, who's here today, offered to be my guide, but only on one condition. I had to promise I was okay with falling. I still remember the first time I ran without my vision. I grabbed one end of a bungee cord, and I closed my eyes. When the darkness came, the bottom dropped out from under me like a roller coaster on the first big plunge. I was on a track with marked lanes, but I couldn't run in a straight line. My legs turned to jello, like they did today, and like they did the hot summer morning in 2006 when Mom called and said, "Taylor has Batten disease." Running blind the first time was tough. But before long, I ran in the dark without that roller coaster feeling. I couldn't see, but I heard and smelled and felt the world in a whole new way. I used all of my other senses to paint a picture. The rustling of leaves in an unexpected breeze. An old car's muffler as the driver inched past a crazy blindfolded person running in the street. The sweet smells of fresh cut grass and honeysuckle and meat on the grill. The painted traffic lines beneath the soles of my shoes and the warmth of a soft summer rain on bare skin. Now, Andrew had said I would fall, and he was right. And 10 weeks in, I did. But I didn't stop. Instead, I took the blindfold and I tied it around my leg like a tourniquet to keep blood from trickling onto my brand new shoes. I closed my eyes and I kept going. I think we ran another 3 miles that night. You see, Taylor always kept going, in running and in life. And when I trained, I tried to be more like Taylor. My friends asked me why I did what I did, but I really didn't understand why until after it was all over. I ran blind to save kids like my sister. I ran blind to save myself. And suddenly, I saw everything. Running blind taught me to see the world from a different angle, to see rare disease from a different angle, to see it for what it is, an issue that affects us all. Now, I'm in marketing, and I have been known to say that rare disease has a branding problem. Because despite the name, rare disease isn't simply an issue that affects an unfortunate few. Stephen Hawking has a rare disease. Michael J. Fox, Venus Williams, Tim Howard. Rare disease killed Harold Ramis and Bernie Mac and Lou Gehrig. Rare disease hits close to home. Each of us here today carries at least 3 devastating rare disease mutations that we could pass on to our own children. No one is immune to rare. Rare disease affects me, it affects you. And by tackling rare disease, we can reduce the huge burden on families and our healthcare system in our communities. We can help the doctors who still have to tell a lot of families like mine, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. We can give the Taylors of the world better quality of life and more tomorrows. Recognizing that rare is everywhere restored my will to face it. It gave me another reason to fight it. But running blind helped me survive more than just this fight against rare disease. It taught me to view any bad situation as a noble challenge rather than an impassable wall. Running blind taught me to see that overcoming obstacles, however big or small, is all about changing our perspective. Believing that we can turn tragedy into opportunity. Believing that while today might make us cry or scream, tomorrow is always a second chance. It's been years since I crossed the finish line blindfolded, but I still try to live my life by the lessons I learned in the dark. To fight, even if everyone else thinks the fight is hopeless. To attack a disease people said it'd take billions of dollars to cure. To stop using rare or not me as an excuse to do nothing. To stay in the race even if we can't see the finish line. To reject the notion of impossible. Taylor never believed in impossible. She didn't let Batten disease stop her from doing the things that she wanted to do. This is a kid. And in true Taylor form, families like ours refuse to take no cure for an answer. Because if we all did that, kids like Taylor would keep dying till the end of time. Believing is working. In 2015, Taylor's Law established the nation's first Rare Disease Advisory Council here in North Carolina. In 2017, the FDA approved the first treatment for Batten, more than 100 years after an English doctor discovered the disease. Soon, kids like my sister will be treated with gene therapy in a clinical trial. Gene therapy's been in the news this week. Gene therapy attacks terrible diseases by targeting the faulty gene and replacing it with a healthy copy. It could be a forever fix. Thanks in part to Taylor's tale, the fight against rare disease is moving forward by leaps and bounds instead of single steps. We're running, not crawling. Sometimes, though, the hardest things we face in life run faster than we do. Today, Taylor should be a college sophomore. Instead, she's at home, blind and wheelchair-bound. She can't speak or swallow food. I always wanted my sister to be the first person I hugged after I ran a half marathon blindfolded for her. She was too sick to come. My little sister won't survive Batten disease. We're too late. But somebody will, because we're running toward rare. And that I can see. Thank you.